Well, hello there, YouTube fans. It's Hair BMW. I am still alive and kicking. As some of you who may have seen my channel know, we're in the midst of renovating our house, and I can give you some idea. Little of what you see around here is mine, and most of it all belongs to the contractor. And you know, some of our possessions and whatnot are still here. But I had two things. It's been so long. I had two things that I wanted to mention. The first of all, I received my sticker from Scott Best, Scott's Garage, TTOCS 11. And I want to thank Scott a lot for that. That's the second sticker that I've gotten, that one and John Kerry, and I'm very excited about that. As you can see, my garage is not in any shape to be putting them up, but I've got a whole plan for how I'm going to put up the ones that I get. I hope to get more, and I've got them, and more than happy to send anybody that would like one. So something occurred to me the other day, and you know, I said we're in the middle of renovating. It's strange about human nature and how things that are important to someone are not important to someone else. And it's not, I'm not finding fault, but I'm going to show you this this piece of metal, and it's kind of wave shaped, is actually part of a light fixture that went up on the ceiling in our living room. Is now completely gone. And I came home and I found it in the pile of the contractors. I don't know what to do with it. Do you want me to throw it away or keep it? And you know, it's hard to believe, but that piece of metal holds tremendous value to me. Not intrinsic value. It's aluminum. It's just crap. But a number of years ago, 10 years ago now or more, a very good, sorry about that, I'm trying to get this right here, a very good friend of mine I was in an organization with, was an older gentleman who, when you live in a small town, I digress again, when you live in a small town, everybody knows everybody, and that for some people is very aggravating. For me, I find it very comforting. It's nice to walk down the street and see people wherever you go that you know and you can wave to and say hello. And if you're leading a clean, decent life, then you don't have anything to be ashamed or worried about, and you're not worried about what people are talking about. So anyway, there was a gentleman, an older gentleman that I was in a fraternal organization with, who turns out knew my wife from when she was born. They lived in the same community. He was one of the pillars of the community, a small, tiny community, but he was the Dodge dealer in town. An honest and upright, God-fearing man, if ever one walked the face of the earth. Very quiet, very soft-spoken, wonderful man. And his wife made the best pimento cheese I ever had. And when you're in the South, that's something. Again, that's an aside. So, anyway, I got to know Mr. Reuben really well. I feel like really well. And he owned an old car, an antique car. And we talked about it all the time, and I would go over and visit him, and we would look at the car and tinker on the car, and it was one of those that was forever being fixed and worked on when nothing was wrong with it, because he just liked to tinker on it. And I'll show you that car. That's it right there. It's a 1930 Dodge DC-8. Quite a rare car. There were lots of 1930 Dodges made, but there were not that many that were made with a straight 8 engine, which it has. And originally the car was burgundy over black, and all the original markings were still inside the door. And anyway, one day I got a call from Mr. Reuben, and he said, "Mark, I want to sell you my car. And I said, well, Mr. Reuben, I'm flattered, but I have an idea of what that car is worth, and I just don't have that kind of money. And he said, Mark, if you have that car, you're going to hot rod it? I said, no, sir, I'm not a hot rodding type. I like the antique cars for what they are. And I'd always wanted one. I guess everybody wants one. And he said, well, Mark, if you're not going to hot rod that car, then we're going to come to terms on it, and you're going to buy that car. And we did. And we spent a lot of time after I bought the car. He would come over here on Saturdays, and he told me how to, change spark plugs and do timing and how to use the throttle and the spark and all those kinds of things. I grew up with fuel injection. I had no idea. So I want to show you Mr. Reuben in his element. So this was a local car show we had here in town, and I'm hoping this is going to focus. But this was before, how do you get that focus thing to work? I see guys do it all the time. I don't know how to get it to work. But anyway, now it's not going to work. But that's Mr. Reuben right there. Right there. Doing what he loved best, which was just talking about the car. He was not a prideful man or a boastful man. He was just a man who loved that car and loved to talk to people about it. So I bought the car, and I had the car for a number of years. And just a series of circumstances, it became clear to me that it was time to let somebody else have it, take care of it. And I talked with his daughter and son-in-law, both who I go to church with and I've known as long as I've lived around here. Told them what I wanted to do and why, and they understood completely. And I spent a lot of time and effort looking for someone to buy that car that would promise me basically the same thing that I promised Mr. Reuben, that I wouldn't hot rod the car and that it needed to just be taken care of and used and enjoyed. And I believe I found that man. And as far as I know, he enjoyed the car and probably still does. I don't really know. So what leads me down this long, winding path? Well, going back to this piece of metal. I will never throw this piece of metal away. And what you may or may not be able to tell is that when I installed this light fixture, my wife wanted a curve in it. Well, how do you put a curve into a piece of metal? Well, I came down here to the garage, and I formed the curve off the front fender of my 1930 Dodge. So the light fixtures are gone, but I'll never get rid of that piece of metal because that's the last of the shape that I have from that car. And it reminds me of the car, it reminds me of Mr. Reuben and all the great times we had tinkering on that car. So there you go. Not intended to be a sentimental slob story or anything like that, but it's just the truth. And it's been so long since I've been on YouTube, I've kind of got the itch. I'm looking forward to getting done so I can get back to it. I've got some projects lined up. I had a subscriber actually ask me if I was going to do or if I would do some work on a brake project on the car, some of which I have in the works, and some of which I'm going to think about seeing if I can incorporate. So it is a powerful feeling when somebody subscribes to your channel and then writes you and says, hey, would you do this? Are you going to do this? Would you, how you explain it is interesting to me, and I want you to do this. Wow, that's cool. So there you go, YouTube fans. It's a gorgeous fall evening here. We're in the, well, I would show you out back, but it's dark now. Here it is, 7:30-ish, I guess, on a Monday night, and we're well into dark. It's daylight savings this weekend, So there you go. Welcome to my mess. But I have to tell you, the upstairs is looking fantastic. The wife is doing an amazing job with the decorating, and the contractor's doing a wonderful job with the work. So by the look of it, we're going to get some new doors soon. I come home and it's like a surprise. Everything's new every day. So that's about it, YouTube fans. If any of you are interested in getting a Hair BMW sticker or decal, or if you're in Canada, a decal, one of my favorite all-time shows ever is a Canadian TV series. It's long since been off, and I ran across and I bought the whole series called Corner Gas. Love that show. If you're Canadian, I love that show. But anyway, this is my Hair BMW. Got my finger in the way, my Hair BMW sticker. If anybody would like one, more than happy to send it off to you. Like I indicated earlier, I've got one from John Kerry 1963 Jag, and now I have one from Scott Best. And I'd like to send one to Mr. Cutworm in the worst way, but we can't seem to work out the PM to get his address. And I don't blame him, but I don't suspect he wants to just put it on out there on the internet. So I'm trying to figure out a way to get one to Mr. Cutworm, because there is nobody I enjoy more than Mr. Cutworm. So YouTube fans, that's it. This is Hair BMW, and sooner or later, hopefully sooner rather than later, I'm going to get back to doing videos on the old E90 330i, which is sitting outside absolutely filthy right now. But you can see there's no room at the inn. All right, we'll talk to you later. Bye.